But please do not work while you're studying in the term, because even though your visa will allow you to do that, your academics will suffer. सबसे पहली बात तो you have to understand what do you want from the degree 15 years down the line. You want to work as a software engineer in Google, please don't do an MBA. So I think rather than thinking about ROI, students should be thinking कि how much is going to be left in my bank account. जैसे जब मैं apply कर रहा था, because I had a relatively good profile, along with my offer letter itself, I got a 30% scholarship on my tuition fee. You're working abroad, you're taking on big projects, you're contributing to your company. Then many times if you're working with an MNC, the MNC itself will transfer you back to the country.
इंडिया में क्या है, मतलब put it on your house planners, 10, 12 bachelor's, master's work.
ट्यूशन फीस और जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज में कनेक्शन नहीं होता है, ट्यूशन फीस और स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग में कनेक्शन होता है।
स्कॉलरशिप इतनी बढ़ रही है, पूछो मत।
If you have to choose between an MBA from an IIN or a university abroad, what would you do? How would you decide that? Well, we'll try and answer that question on today's episode of Beyond Borders with Anda. And to answer this question, I have Amey Gharpure with us. He's the founder of Admit Abroad. And he has also done his MBA from abroad. So he studied in Canada from 2014 to 2016 for his MBA, came back to India in 2019 and started his company Admit Abroad. And now he helps others do the same thing. Welcome, Amey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So the first thing that I would want to ask you is there are a lot of aspirants who are planning for an MBA. उनका main reason ये रहता है कि यार मैं अपने career से खुश नहीं हूँ. MBA will help me move to the other domain, other expertise, other category. How true is that?
It is true. Majority of the times students do an MBA so that because they want to switch their career. तो या तो वो फंक्शन में चेंज चाहते हैं, तो मे बी किसी को टेक्निकल फील्ड में से निकल के सेल्स मार्केटिंग फाइनेंस में कुछ जाना है, और दे वांट टू चेंज देयर इंडस्ट्री. सो मे बी समवन वांट्स टू गेट इनटू फाइनेंस और कंसल्टिंग और व्हाटएवर. सो दैट इज अ लार्ज प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स. लेकिन इसके अलावा देयर आर टू अदर काइंड्स ऑफ पीपल आल्सो who do consider doing an MBA, and I've seen that. The first kind are those people who want to become entrepreneurs. They want to run their own business, and there are some business schools abroad which have programs specifically designed for this. जैसा the United States में एक university है Papson. So their MBA program is known for entrepreneurship. In fact, it's considered better than Stanford for entrepreneurship. And the other category of students who go for an MBA are those people who just want a plain advancement in their career. Job कर रहे हैं लेकिन career growth नहीं मिल रहा है. Why? Because they don't have any leadership experience in MBA. They don't have a structured way of thinking. तो MBA किया, आ गए वापस, and then they in the same industry, probably even in the same company sometimes, they get a hike, they get a better designation. So ये तीन टाइप के लोग होते हैं.
वो तो मतलब इंडियन MBA के अंदर भी रहता है. तो एक्चुअली आई यूज्ड टू ट्रेन स्टूडेंट्स फॉर द कैट एग्जाम.
हाँ.
और कैट के लिए भी एक बहुत मेजर जब पढ़ाया जाता था यार मेरा करियर के अंदर. तो आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग एट 22, 25, 26 तक आते आते मेरा जो ग्रोथ का सीलिंग था वो हिट हो गया. MBA कर लेते हैं. आई डोंट वांट टू चेंज द फील्ड, आई डोंट वांट टू चेंज द डोमेन दैट आई एम वर्किंग. पैसे की ग्रोथ तो सब कुछ सही है, तो उसके लिए MBA यूज्ड टू वर्क. एंड फॉर दैट पीपल यूज, अब जिसका IIM में हो गया तो हो गया, वो तो सोचने की बात नहीं है. पीपल ऑल्सो ऑप्टेड फॉर स्लाइटली लेसर कॉलेजेस. बट वन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स दैट दी स्टूडेंट्स हैड वाज, जो कि सिर्फ सॉर्ट ऑफ थप्पे के लिए करना चाहते थे, वो ये कि यार MBA में जाके मेहनत बहुत करनी पड़ी. एंड देन इफ यू टॉक टू अ लॉट ऑफ दी स्टूडेंट्स जिन्होंने कि बाहर जाके MBA किया है, उनका तो ये कि भाई इंडिया से भी बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत लगती है वहाँ पे बिजनेस कोर्सेज करने में. Since you have done your MBA from abroad, do you think there is merit in this argument that business courses abroad are A, significantly harder than India, and B, harder than the other options like MS, etc.?
So I think you can look at this at two levels. एक तो compare करते हैं MS to an MBA, and उसके बाद में we'll compare probably an Indian MBA to an MBA abroad. Now when it comes to an MS versus an MBA anywhere in the world, you go to any university's website, तुमको दिखेगा कि the number of courses that you need to do for an MBA to graduate is double the number of courses for an MBA is double the number of courses than an MS. तो एक example लेते हैं. Stanford के आप अगर वेबसाइट पे जाओगे, you go to their MS and CS section, you need to complete 45 units of courses in 2 years.
Okay.
MBA के लिए you have to cover 90 units of courses in 2 years. तो total time same है 2 साल का, लेकिन number of courses double है. So naturally, an MBA course will be considered more difficult or more rigorous, I should say, compared to an MS. Acha, apart from the academics, there are several other things that you do in any business school in India or abroad. Interview prep होता है, internship applications होते हैं, case study competitions होते हैं, networking sessions होते हैं, अलग-अलग type के projects, presentations, फलाना होता है. So an MBA definitely is more rigorous than an MS. So it is more rigorous. It is not more complex because maybe when you're going for an MS in a technical field, so it will be more complicated in the sense that the concepts you learn are more difficult. But then you're doing fewer things at a time. तो ये फर्क है MS MBA में. Now when it comes to MBA in India versus MBA abroad, I think थोड़ा एक nuanced view देखना चाहिए. इंडिया में मैंने ये देखा है, on average you take any business school, number of courses that you study per term is actually more than the number of courses that you study abroad. तो इधर मैं फिर से एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, IIM अहमदाबाद, उनके वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पहले साल में you will study 30 courses roughly, that's what they say. Harvard Business School, which is दुनिया का number 1, पहले साल में you're studying 14 courses, so it's half of what you're doing in India. So if you're saying that अरे MBA abroad is tougher than MBA in India in terms of number of courses, तो वो actually गलत है. इंडिया में आप ज़्यादा courses कर रहे हैं. But where an MBA abroad slightly becomes challenging is the amount of work that you do outside the classroom. इंडिया में होता ये है कि आपका जो फाइनल ग्रेड है, majority of it depends on the final exam that you take, 70-80%. So there are fewer assignments and projects. बाहर ये होता है that your final exam might contribute 30%, maybe 40% to your final grade. Means that the remaining of your grade is coming through multiple assignments which are probably 5% or 10% in weightage each. You're spending less time in the class compared to India. So from that point of view, it's less strenuous. Outside the classroom, you're doing many more things. The subject matter itself remains kind of the same. जो case studies आज आप बाहर पढ़ रहे हो, वही case studies आप इंडिया में भी पढ़ रहे हो largely. तो उसमें इतना फर्क नहीं आता. It's just the difference in the pedagogy or difference in this sort of curriculum arrangement.
यार क्योंकि अगर तो दिस इज वेयर दी माय इंजीनियरिंग एक्सपीरियंस कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर कि भाई अपना हम लोग का एक मिक्सम होता था, एक एनसेम होता था. एनसेम के अंदर अगर आपके अच्छे नंबर आए तो आप कम से कम पास तो कर जाओगे. बट ये जो कंटिन्यूअस इवैल्यूएशन वाला है, उसके अंदर तो तुमको हर टेस्ट के लिए मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, हर असाइनमेंट सबमिट करना पड़ेगा. तो दीस टेस्ट एंड असाइनमेंट एग्जिस्ट इन इंडिया एंड इंडिया, बट उनका वेटेज उतना नहीं होता.
उतना weightage नहीं रहता. And the other problem is that let's say you're studying say 4, 5, 6 courses at a time abroad, not more than that. लेकिन हर एक week there is a deliverable for every course, and each of those deliverables matters. So in addition to the time that you're spending, it's also playing on your mind. So it's making you more stress resistant in a way.
Understood. But so that brings me to a slightly other question. A lot of time when people think about MBA or MS abroad or any form of even graduation abroad, एक ही रहता है कि अच्छा हाँ वहाँ जाके कोई पार्ट टाइम और जॉब वगैरह आप उठा लो ताकि आपके लिविंग एक्सपेंसेस या तो कवर हो जाएंगे, कम से कम कुछ पोर्शन उसका कवर हो. So your experience, do you think ये MBA वाले स्टूडेंट्स लोग भी ये कर पाते हैं कि उनके पास मेरे सबके लिए टाइम नहीं रहता है और जॉब वाला?
See, on paper कर सकते हैं, in practice नहीं कर सकते. इतना काम होता है that you will not get the opportunity to do that. हमें भी orientation day पे they had specifically a separate section on part-time jobs that they covered, and उसमें उन्होंने हमें बोला कि year 1 and year 2 के बीच में you'll have a 4-month gap. उस टाइम पे आप full time internship कर लो, you'll earn enough amount of money at that time to cover for your living expenses. But please do not work while you're studying in the term, because even though your visa will allow you to do that, your academics will suffer, your grades will suffer, your networking, your projects will suffer. तो आपको फिर end में to get a full-time job will be more difficult. So practical नहीं है.
और वैसे भी भाई अगर आप कर पाते हो to cover your expenses, that is fine, but that's going to be very insignificant money compared to आपने पढ़ाई अच्छे से करी, नंबर अच्छे है, नेटवर्क अच्छा बना, तो जो आप नौकरी के अंदर शायद 2 महीने में कमा लोगे, उसको और जॉब से कमाने में आपको 2 साल लग जाएंगे. तो better to prioritize that part. But legally, from a visa perspective, you are allowed.
Yeah, so most countries will allow you to work 20 hours per week part-time. Now whether you can work off campus or on campus would depend on country to country. जैसा भी यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में आप on campus ही काम कर सकते हो. You cannot go outside the boundaries of your campus and work during the term. But in other countries, largely speaking, you're allowed to work both on campus or off campus. So you can take up a job even outside the campus.
So when you were doing your MBA, that is 2014 to 16, yeah. तो कनाडा के अंदर ऑफ कैंपस वगैरह अलाउड था?
Yeah, it was allowed.
So your university will also have खाली MBA करना है, वहाँ पे MSK और वो सारे
सब था. So I was studying at the University of Toronto. So University of Toronto has almost all the fields you can imagine. They have engineering, they have humanities, they have social sciences, they have MBA, सब कुछ है उनके पास. So I was studying at their business school. I was studying at the Rotman School of Management, which is a part of the University of Toronto. So the Rotman School of Management, in our orientation, they said that even though your university will allow you and your visa allows you, we would not yes ये क्या है, मत करो आप इसमें मत घुसो.
So, जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टोरंटो है उसके अंदर इतने सारे ऑप्शंस रहते हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ दी स्टूडेंट्स हु आर गोइंग अब्रॉड, आई एम श्योर कुछ सोशल साइंसेस के लिए भी जाएंगे, बट व्हाट आई हैव सीन इज ब्रॉडली या तो एमबीए के लिए जाते हैं या फिर वो एमएस के लिए जाते हैं.
Correct.
So, as a student, how do I decide what to pick? And can you give us a little bit of comparison between this MBA as a career option abroad or MS as a career option abroad?
All right. So actually, there are three kinds of courses. You have pure technical courses, which are the Masters of Science courses. All right. They could be in any field. So they could be in like STEM fields like a computer science, mechanical engineering, or they could be in some other field also. Then you have your MBA, Masters of Business Administration, which is purely business focused. And then you have hybrid programs. So your Masters of Information Systems, Masters of Engineering Management, where some of the subjects that you will study are going to be technical in nature and some will be managed or business focused. So how to decide between these three? सबसे पहली बात तो you have to understand what do you want from that degree 15 years down the line. You want to work as a software engineer in Google, please don't do an MBA. Please do an MS in CS or an MS in AI or something like that. But on the other hand, you want to become an investment banker at Goldman Sachs, then don't do an MS in CS, then probably an MBA in finance will suit you better. So the primary distinction is कि आपको काम क्या करना है. Similarly, interdisciplinary fields के लिए, let's say you want to become a supply chain manager or something like that, then you go for a master's in supply chain management, which is again interdisciplinary. Or let's say you want to get recruited by Netflix as a product manager, then maybe you do a master's in technology management or master's in engineering management. तो सबसे पहले तो you decide कि मुझे career में 15 साल बाद करना क्या है, उसके basis पे. Then the second decision point is where are you in your career right now? Few of these degrees are meant for early graduates. अगर मेरा college हुआ है, मुझे immediately बाहर जाके पढ़ना है, तो Masters of Science in any field or a Masters in Engineering Management or any interdisciplinary field will allow you to do that. MBA abroad, typically you need 4 to 5 years of experience to get into a good business school. At the minimum, no good business school will even look at your resume unless you don't have 2 years of work experience. So then it depends on these two things. मुझे करना क्या है and how old am I? So these are the main decision points. After that, the third decision point could be the pricing. MBA programs generally on average are twice as expensive as MS programs or MBA programs. So these are the three things I think students should look at before they take that final call कि कौन सा degree करना है.
तो एक तो वो चॉइस की बात हो गई, लॉन्ग टर्म करियर की बात हो गई, आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट. कमिंग टू द प्राइस पॉइंट पार्ट ऑफ इट, कुड यू गिव मी सम आइडिया अबाउट कि मान लो मैं एमएस करने जा रहा हूँ तो उसके अंदर टिपिकली क्या आरओआई रहता है फ्रॉम अ मनी पर? पता है कि भाई मेरा लॉन्ग टर्म गोल है नेटफ्लिक्स के अंदर हिट में काम करने का, तब तो एमएस ही है. So let's first talk about the ROI on an MS course and then probably about the ROI of an MBA course.
So the thing is now it is very difficult to give one answer to this because this actually depends from country to country. Take example, maybe if I give an example, it will be easier for everyone to understand. Let's compare two countries, United States and Germany. United States because it is still the most popular, Germany because it is considered the least expensive. Typical MS program in United States will cost you around 60 lakh rupees. This is tuition fee plus living. Total cost
2-year program.
2 साल का program. 2 साल का program. Germany में most universities which are public by the way, they do not charge you any tuition fee or they charge you very nominal tuition fee. तो आपका खाली living का खर्चा आता है which is roughly again around 20 lakh rupees. So cost in United States becomes 60 lakhs. Cost in Germany becomes 20 lakhs. But the average starting salaries are also very different in both these countries. After a master's in United States, average starting salary is 80-85 lakhs. Germany में it is 50 lakhs. So one way to think about ROI is that you just do the division of the two. You will clearly see that Germany has a very high ROI compared to the United States. But that is not the only way you should compare. You need to go slightly
work for तुम 20 साल काम करेगा, right?
20 साल काम करोगे, and there are a few other things. So one thing, important thing that students don't consider, which they should, is the tax rate of different countries. अब जब जर्मनी में जाते हो, when you're earning around 50 lakh rupees a year, at that level, you're charged a tax of around 40% by the government. तो आपके हाथ में आता है only maybe 30 lakh rupees, even though you're earning 50-55 lakh rupees. United States में you're earning 80-85 lakh rupees. आपका tax plus insurance, health insurance, will come to around 35 lakhs. So you'll be left with around 55 lakh rupees. तो आपने 2 साल ज़्यादा खर्चा किया US में, but every year you're earning double. And that difference keeps increasing over 30-year career. So I think rather than thinking about ROI, students should be thinking ki how much is going to be left in my bank account. And that is from a long-term perspective, 10, 15, 20-year duration, right? But generally speaking, if I'm looking at a 5-year ROI of any country, it is between 4x to 7x for an MS program. And for an MBA program, the ROI works out to around 6x to 7x. Now, MBA programs, by the way, are, like I said, twice as expensive as an MS program, but salaries are also almost double. So ROI when it comes to around that much only.
Fair. And can you also talk a little bit about the difficulty of getting into? See, I understand Germany इतना सस्ते में दे रहा है तो हर आदमी को तो ले ही लेगा. But let's say, how difficult is it to get in and admit to an MS program versus an MBA program? Because what my understanding is, which is not that great, कि MS के बहुत सारे programs होते हैं. The number of seats which are available for MS is significantly higher than the number of seats which are available for an MBA. But मैं बाहर जा रहा हूँ तो मैं किसी भी ऑनी पॉनी यूनिवर्सिटी में तो जाऊँ. So if you look at in terms of number of good seats for MS in any country, for example, and good seats for MBA, how easy or how difficult these are in comparison?
I have looked at the data on this, and the data shows that if you're looking at high-ranked universities, say you're looking at a London Business School in the UK, or you're looking at a Stanford in the United States, or something like that, University of Melbourne in Australia, चाहे आप MS करो या आप MBA करो, selection rate will be around 5 to 6%, both for MS and MBA. So you're still better off that way than in that sense compared to the elite Indian institutions like an IIT.
कंपटीशन के मामले में अगर तुम इंडिया से कंपेयर करने लग जाए, बोल रहा हूँ इंडिया के अंदर तो किंडरगार्टन में आई हैव अ 4-year-old किड, तो 4 साल के बच्चे का नर्सरी के अंदर स्कूल में एडमिशन करवाना है, दैट टू इन अ सिटी लाइक जयपुर. वहां पे भी
आपका इंटरव्यू लेंगे, they'll make you fill some form, answer some questions, पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं. So that way it is easier to get into a high ranked university abroad than it is in India. So point number one.
इंडिया और बाहर को मैं बोलूँ just these programs.
So then now if you look at the surface level, if any student tomorrow goes and sees the statistics put out by universities, उनको लगेगा कि यार same ही है, 5% इधर भी 5% उधर भी, round about top university. But what they should understand is that the quality of the applicants is very different in both the programs. MS के लिए जैसे मैंने कहा, it's mostly early stage professionals going, so their profile is not that developed. MBA के लिए, when you're especially talking about good universities abroad, you're looking at candidates with 4-5 years of experience. So even though the admit rate is 5%, the people who are applying itself are far more accomplished. जैसे अभी MS में majority of the applicants getting into good university would not have international exposure. But say you want to get into an NCR, or you want to get into something like Oxford or Cambridge or something like that, you will see that a substantial portion of the class has 2 or 3 years of international exposure. तो नंबर से जाओगे तो सिमिलर लगेगा, but actually you are up against stiffer competition when it comes to MBA because the applicant pool itself is more competitive.
हाँ, मतलब वही है कि तुम रणजी के अंदर क्रिकेट खेल रहे हो या इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे क्रिकेट खेल रहे हो.
That's the analogy.
Yeah. So we have compared MBA and MS into the ROI perspective, difficulty perspective, and what it seems to me is कि यार MBA के अंदर competition ज़्यादा है, but हो गया तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. और मान लिया कि पैसा ज़्यादा है, but अगर हो गया तो फिर आपकी बाद में कमाई भी ज़्यादा है. So do you see because of all this a pattern emerging where MBA courses are sort of eating into the MS courses, right?
Both yes and no, and I'll explain how. अगर आप बात कर रहे हो any average university, then what you're saying is true, because MBA as a degree in people's mind carries more value, carries more prestige than an MS degree for whatever reason. तो अगर कोई low ranked university है which is offering, let's say, an MBA and an MS, I might do the MBA. But if I'm going to a top ranked university, and if it is easier for me to get into an MS program compared to the MBA program of that university, I will choose the MS program. Which is why you see a lot of cases where, like, again, I took the example, I spoke of London Business School, very top ranked university, right? उनके पास MBA program भी है, MIM program भी है, Masters in Management. Now, just because people want the tag of a London Business School and getting into the MIM program is easier because, again, younger applicant pool, lower requirements, a lot of kids are actually choosing that program over the MBA program. So अगर आप average university के बारे में बात करो तो yes, what you're saying is absolutely true. MBA is eating up into the business masters programs applicant pool. But high ranked university के लिए ऐसा नहीं है.
Then the final thing which I would probably want to know about is, my understanding is getting a scholarship for MS is relatively easier. मैंने काफी सारे online programs देखे हैं. They want more people to do an MS, especially in European colleges के अंदर. But MBA के लिए मुझे उतनी ज़्यादा scholarships का नज़र नहीं आता. I have a very outside view of things. Can you tell us a little bit more about the scholarship part in both MBA and MS and how does that work?
Yeah, so I think typically one reason why you don't see many different scholarships for an MBA is because the system has been that if your profile is strong enough, the university will automatically give you a scholarship along with the offer letter itself. जैसे जब मैं अप्लाई कर रहा था, because I had a relatively good profile, along with my offer letter itself, I got a 30% scholarship on my tuition fee. I didn't have to apply separately for it. MS के केस में ये होता है that in many cases they do the same thing, but there are additional scholarships over and above that. The other difference between an MS and an MBA is once you get into the MBA program, you realize based on your performance in year 1, you can apply for scholarships in year 2. So those things are not publicly advertised outside. वो आप एक बार you enter the business school, then you come to know all these things. So it is right in the sense that you can't apply separately, but it's also good because then you don't have to do separate applications for scholarships. Having said that, even whether you want to go for an MS or whether you want to go for an MBA, there are several sources from where you can find different scholarships. एक तो university का website ही हो गया. So you go to Stanford University's website, there was scholarship section. You see the Knight Hennessy scholarship. You go to Oxford's website, you see Skoll scholarships, so on and so forth. This is one source. Other source is you can go to government websites, or you can go for different not-for-profits or foundations. जैसा अभी इंडिया में there is a foundation called Inlux Shivdasani.
Can you repeat that?
Inlux Shivdasani. So they offer multiple scholarships to students who want to fly abroad for multiple courses. But उधर students को ये ध्यान देना पड़ता है that especially if it's an Indian NGO that's giving them a scholarship, many times there is a condition that you need to come back to the country after working for 2 or 3 years. So you have to be a bit careful about that. But you can, again, like I said, you can go to the government websites of countries abroad, and on their web pages, you can see multiple scholarships listed. So for example, you want to study in, say, Germany, you can go to the DART website and you can see scholarships. You want to study in France, you can go to the Campus France website. You want to study in Australia, you can go to the Study in Australia website. Similarly, most countries now will have a single web page on which they will list all scholarships that you could apply to. आपको खाली इतना मेहनत लेना है कि आपको लेना है for every scholarship you have to see what the application deadline is, what the amount is, what the eligibility criteria is. That's it, and then you apply based on that. But if you're looking for one single source for all scholarships, then I would actually recommend the Gyandan website, because Gyandan has, I think, listed over 170 scholarships. So I think students should start from there, and then based on that they should explore what scholarship they are applicable.
और ये जो हमारी scholarships हैं, typically what portion? So you said कि 30% का तो आपको MES की आइडिया था. Then typically by applying and all of this, अभी मैं जाके देखता हूँ, हाँ जी, किसी कोर्स की फीस है $100,000.
Yeah.
Now it's possible that you will get a 30%, I get a 20%, someone else might get 100% scholarship as well. In your experience, could be with Advert Abroad, and I'm sure you would have seen a lot of students. Typically, कितने की scholarship हम ये उम्मीद कर सकते हैं that an average, above average median student को मिल जाएगी?
Most of the students who do get a scholarship between 10 to 15% of the total tuition fee. तो अगर आपका $100,000 का कोर्स है तो $10,000 to $15,000 का स्कॉलरशिप मिलेगा आपको. उसके ऊपर many universities what they've started doing now is if the student wants additional funding, rather than giving a direct scholarship, वो बोलते हैं ठीक है आप हमारे पास आओ, we will employ you part time on campus. So they will give an assistantship, or you could either be a teaching assistant or a research assistant based on the program. That will cover your living costs. So this is the way it works. Having said that, I have seen a few rare cases of my own students only where the student has received 100% scholarship also. जैसे अभी last year एक हमारे पास student आई थी, she wanted to study marketing abroad. So she had a very good profile. I mean, she basically launched her own YouTube channel and within 6 months got her to like 10,000 subscribers and all that super relevant content. Future में उसको काम भी उस चीज में करना था. So she got a 100% scholarship from ASU. But NYU and Northwestern, which are higher rank, didn't give her a scholarship. So again, then the point is that what rank of university are you applying to? So the higher the rank of the university, the lower the amount of scholarship you get. The lower
हो गई यार, मतलब भाई it's a simple game of demand
and supply. It's supply and demand economics at work. That's about it.
कि अगर कोई स्टूडेंट है जो कि टैलेंटेड है और अच्छा है तो एनी यूनिवर्सिटी वांट्स देम. अब कैसे अट्रैक्ट करोगे? अट्रैक्ट करने के यही है कि अच्छा हाँ जी हम आपको डिस्काउंट दे देते हैं. दैट्स इफ इट एंड दैट्स व्हाट scholarship is turned out to be. फेयर. तो ये सारी चीजें हमको ध्यान में रखनी पड़ेंगी when the scholarship thing come into the picture. The other part which I would want to ask about is कि मान लो आपने MBA कर लिया abroad से, coming back to India, do you see that these guys would be at par with, let's say, the top colleges in India? या ये होगा कि even if it's a famous or a big university, अब स्टैनफोर्ड है, हार्वर्ड से किया है, तब तो सब लोग जानते हैं India.
Correct.
But let's say if you have done it from a university which is probably the 25th ranked university in the US, which is still very, very good by global standard, but people in India might not know about it. So wouldn't be a challenge for them to come back to India if they want to come back to India because यार इस कॉलेज को कोई जानता ही नहीं है तो मेरे को यहाँ पे नौकरी नहीं मिल रही है and all that.
That's a good question, but I feel that depends upon at what stage of your life you come back. अगर आप MBA करने के बाद immediately आते हो,
Immediately पैसा कहाँ से बनेगा?
but अगर आप 1 साल बाद भी आते हो, then you will not have the same recognition as a student who's done his MBA from any decent Indian business school. It will not be valid. But if you work abroad for maybe 5 or 6 years, and I've seen this with some of my friends also, you're working abroad, you're taking on big projects, you're contributing to your company. Then many times if you're working with an MNC, the MNC itself will transfer you back to the country at a good salary, which is good enough, which in Indian terms is higher than what your peers would get. Or you will be able to switch to an Indian company, but not on the basis of your MBA degree. It's basis on your 5 years of work that you've done abroad, the kind of projects you've done. So in short, अगर आप immediately आ रहे हो, 1-2 साल में आ रहे हो, तो इतना value नहीं है, फिर आप इंडिया से ही करो. But if you are going to work there for 5, 6, 7 years and then come back, then yes, you might have a better life than other Indian students.
तो अभी हमने जैसे स्कॉलरशिप्स वगैरह की बात करी, देयर आर 10 to 15%, किसी की 100% भी होती है, बहुत सारों को मिलती नहीं भी है. एज अ स्टूडेंट, is there something that I can do which increases my chances of getting a scholarship?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is supply-demand economics at play. So the trick here is to show to the university that you are better than the other applicants. अभी आप वो करोगे कैसे? It's by building a profile. Now, by definition, you want to build your profile. It's going to take time. 1 से 2 साल तो लगता ही है. You cannot build your profile in a day or two. Rome was not built in a day. जैसे बोलते हैं. So now there are a few things that students need to focus on, and this is across the board for MS MBA जो भी है. First thing is your academics. Your academics need to be really good. उसके अंदर ideally you want to get a scholarship or get into a good university. अगर आपका GPA is out of 10, you need a 9 or above. But अगर वो नहीं भी हो रहा है, तो then at least make sure that over the semesters आपका जो grades है वो बढ़ते जा रहा है. An upward graph is something that universities like to see. Second thing is you can supplement your academics with a GRE or a GMAT test score. अगर आप masters के लिए जा रहे हो, अगर आप undergrad के लिए जा रहे हो, you supplementing with another test score which is the SAT or the ACT. So these are basically aptitude tests, and doing well on these tests tells the university that you're prepared for undergraduate education or graduate education at their university. तो अगर आपको अच्छा score मिल रहा है, then it's very easy for the admission scheme also to justify why I need to give a scholarship, because it's an objective metric. No one can argue with the admission scheme. तो ये हो गया academics and test scores. इसके अलावा you need to focus on co-curriculars. So by co-curriculars, I don't mean extracurriculars. I'll come to that. But co-curriculars basically means anything that is related to your field, but which does not contribute to your GPA in your Indian college. तो जैसे अगर आप कंप्यूटर साइंस इंडिया में पढ़ रहे हो, तो आप प्रोजेक्ट्स क्या कर रहे हो, आप रिसर्च पेपर क्या लिख रहे हो, आप इंटर्नशिप्स क्या कर रहे हो, have you filed any patents, have you written any books and published them? All these would fall under co-curricular activities. Having a strong set of co-curricular activities which are directed in one area will do two things. एक तो it tells the university that you're genuinely interested in that field. Secondly, you come out as a thought leader in that field. So that has a good impact, or you will get scholarships because of that. Third thing is extracurriculars, and this matters more if you're going for an MBA than an MS. MBA में एक चीज है that they are training leaders of tomorrow. So if you're showing your leadership traits when you're in college or at work, then there's a higher chance that they want you on their campus and they're going to give you a scholarship. And there are multiple ways you can do this. You could probably start your own club in your college. You could start your own company. You could be the general secretary or the cultural secretary of your college. You could probably work up with a startup incubator in India. अगर आप काम कर रहे हैं तो you can take on additional work. You could find ways to help your company increase revenue, reduce cost, whatever it is. So these would then fall under co-curriculars / extracurriculars. And the last thing I would say nowadays is becoming more important is community service. In addition to your regular essays, nowadays universities are asking students to tell them कि how have you used your skills to help someone from an underprivileged background. तो उसके लिए now community service is becoming important both for MS and MBA programs, especially if you're applying to universities on the west coast of the United States or even in Europe. In that, if you are maybe say working with an NGO for say a year or two, and you're actually helping them in some tangible way, you're helping them with finances, improving the effectiveness of the program or whatever it is, then your chances of winning a scholarship will increase. And generally, I've seen that students who do 70 to 80% of everything that I just said will end up with around a 20 to 25% scholarship to the university they apply.
आप फिर तो मतलब करना ही चाहिए यार, because
करना ही चाहिए.
20-25%
It's a huge amount.
chance.
It's a huge amount.
क्योंकि मतलब we are not talking about a fee of 5 lakh rupees की 20% उसका 1 lakh रुपया होगा. We are talking about a 50 lakh or even a
Yeah, for an APA, so the good universities will now charge 1.5 crores.
substantial.
Yeah.
So I guess this is what something that students to do Any final tips, any suggestions for students who are planning to study abroad before we wrap up today's interview?
I think the one tip I would give everyone is to start super early. Problem ये होता है students का कि they wait till the final year of their graduation or they wait till they're completely bored of their job. And then they want to immediately apply and fly in the next intake. Then that does not give them enough time to go through the process, build their profile and create good applications. So I would actually suggest that अगर आप college में हो, second या third year से ही explore करना चालू करो. और अगर आपने decide कर ही लिया है कि placement करना है, then don't have this attitude कि अभी मेरे को 6 महीने में ही जाना है. Then you give yourself time, a year and a half, and then you go after that. So with time, you can build the right profile, apply to the right programs and countries, and then you can get into a good university with scholarship.
Fair. And on that note, I would like to end today's episode. First of all, thanks Ameya, thanks for all the insight. और जो भी अमेय ने ज्ञान दिया है, मेरे को लगता है उससे आप सबको बहुत फायदा होगा और ये ज्ञान और लोगों को भी मिले. तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट कि इस बियॉन्ड बॉर्डर्स विद हांडा एपिसोड को आप और लोगों से भी शेयर करें, और शेयर नहीं भी कर रहे हैं तो कम से कम इस वीडियो को लाइक जरूर करें. That's it for today. I hope to see you in our next episode as well. Thank you.